is the Saints captain. Tremendous atmosphere. Steve Prescott, only 21. And what a test of young players' nerve on a day like this. Joey Hayes, his first derby against Wigan. He's only 19. 3 tries already this season. Vila Matautia, what has he done to this St Helens pack? And Anthony Sullivan began with a bang, a hat-trick against Bradford here just a week yesterday. Scott Gibbs, former Welsh international. The Saints have emerged, and now here come the champions to the predictable welcome. St Bernard doesn't look too impressed. It's been a fabulous build-up to this game. And Chris Radlinski only got the nod that he was playing at full-back when Sean Edwards failed an early morning fitness test on a pulled hamstring. Radlinski, though, will let nobody down. 18 tries in 21 Wigan appearances. Let's recap the way these two sides line up for you. Saints, their backs. Prescott, the full-back. Hayes, Northey, Loughlin and Sullivan. Gibbs and Goulding, who is the captain, and Goulding is their inspiration. Playing behind this pack of forwards, Fogarty, Cunningham, Perolini, Matautia, Nicol and Joint. And the substitutes, Haig, Vivas, Dwyer and Pickavance. The coach is Eric Hughes. Henry Paul played at scrum half in the pre-season warm-up against Warrington, and according to our guest today, Paul Cullen, was in devastating form that day. How will he adapt to an unfamiliar role? The Wigan backs, Radlinski, Robinson, Twigamala, Connolly and Afire, Wright and Paul. And the forwards, Cowie, Hall, O'Connor, Horton and Cassidy. And Andrew Farrell is the Wigan captain here today. And on the bench, Rob Smythe, Skerrett, Dermott and Scott Quinnell. Graham West, the coach. The man who has to be with the coolest head on board is today's referee, Russell Smith. Referee of the year, referee of the Challenge Cup finals. So he knows what the big occasion's all about. And I rather fancy that he will have to just calm things down early on here, because believe me, this battle will be white hot. Sean Edwards will be annoyed he has to take his place on the bench and miss this one, because he knows, as he chats to Joe Lydon, that St Helens against Wigan is the occasion of the season. The Stones bid a centenary championship, and indeed this centenary year couldn't have a better match, as Goulding feeds Loughlin and he brushes past Paul, but look at the reception committee to greet him, the entire Wigan front row.
An unusual kick-off there from Wigan. I anticipated that they would put the ball right down into the corner where young Joey Hayes is on the left-hand side. But they didn't. They opted for a high one up there. And it's getting rough and tough. Cowie's coming in. Everything's legal.
Bobby Goulding, who looks like he's had a haircut especially for the occasion, and Nicol is dumped to the ground by Connolly. This is Cunningham. Gets the pass away to Nicol. And Horton was in with Terry O'Connor. And Nicol looking at the referee and appealing for the penalty that never came. The ball is hit downfield and Radlinski will run this one out.
Super kick from Bobby Goulding, and the chase was there. Touch judges on, swinging arm.
3 St Helens players went barrelling in.
I think you'll find it's Sullivan that came in. Sullivan was giving a bit of a facial there. You can see the elbow over the top. Loughlin was having a bit of a swing as well. Chris Joint joined in the melee, but I think you'll find that Sullivan is the culprit. Silly penalty to give away after the superb kick into the corner from Goulding. They've lost all that advantage now.
O'Connor tries to get Wigan rolling forward, but Perolini was in there very quickly, and he is Mick Cassidy with the red bicycle shorts. Andy Farrell, the Wigan captain, taking the pass from Martin Hall. Good tackling by Matautia and Fogarty. Here's Henry Paul, scrum half, steps inside his opposite number, Bobby Goulding. Matautia and Perolini again. Hall to Wright. Nigel Wright just thinking about a little pass round the corner, thought better of it. Henry Paul again. Now Horton, chip over the top and straight down the throat of Prescott. And Prescott sets off on a run. Grounded by Cassidy.
Bit of a wasted effort there. Good positioning by Steve Prescott. He wasn't deep. He anticipated the little chip over the top.
Cunningham to Goulding to Fogarty. The early exchanges as we expected. Goulding to Gibbs. Fast and furious. Perolini nearly stiffed over the top of Nigel Wright, but Wright just managed to hang on to his ankles. Here's the new Saints hero, Matautia.
Good defence though. Twigger-Marler in there, equal to the task. Such a big guy in the centres.
A high hanging kick from Goulding. Radlinski's underneath it, and he defused the bomb behind his own line. That will be a tap on the 20-metre mark for the Saints, and they want to get on with it quickly. Here's Robinson. Chased by Hayes and by Cunningham, and Cunningham gets it.
Nice run by Robinson, but equal to it was Joey Hayes. He positioned himself so well. He tried to let Robinson go on the outside. Great defence.
Here's Cowie now. Ball tucked under the arm. Clobbered by Matautia. Cassidy. Matautia there again. And Kieran Cunningham. Henry Paul looks over the shoulder both ways. Fogarty grounds him. No one standing in front of Paul. Takes it to himself. Dabs it through. And the Saints man's offside. Perolini. It bounced off Matautia and came back to him.
Interference there. Perolini had to get round in front. You can't stand at the side. And it came from an offside position. There you see it. Matautia touched the football. Perolini didn't have time to think about it. Quickly diffused it by picking up the football. Offside, well spotted by Russell Smith.
So Perolini adjudged offside, and it gives Andrew Farrell the chance for the first points of the afternoon. Well, Martin Offiah, who began with the blonde rinse, has now, by the looks of things, got the blue rinse. And Bobby Goulding is going a little shorter, so it's the season of haircuts in the centenary. And he's not very pleased, Goulding, that this penalty has been conceded. The last thing that St Helens want is to concede early advantage to Wigan. And here's the perfect opportunity for Farrell to clip Wigan into a 2-point lead. No problems. Flags go up. The arms go up on the terraces behind those posts. And Wigan have an early 2-point advantage.
Superb play from Wigan there. Right from their own half. They took it right way down the field. And the mistake, kicked through by Henry Paul. And he thought about it, did Perolini, but he was caught offside.
Simon Horton will run this ball back. Runs almost through Andy Northey, but Sonny Nicol was there waiting for him. Here now is Mick Cassidy. Wigan unbeaten against St Helens in their last 8 league and cup matches. Ahead here 2-0. Perfect day. Pitch looking in magnificent condition now. Neil Holding's been working round the clock, the head groundsman, to get it fit today for this occasion. This is O'Connor. Great roar from the terraces about a forward pass. Russell Smith unimpressed. Nigel Wright. High kick under pressure from Goulding. Here's a tester for Prescott. Oh, and he got nowhere near it. He's still on the last tackle here. Russell Smith says it's Henry Paul. Dabs it through. And Anthony Sullivan picks up.
Well played, Anthony Sullivan. He knew that the fullback had already committed himself for that bomb, even though he didn't get anywhere near it. Steve Prescott. Very quick thinking from Anthony Sullivan. He came in and took the position of full-back. That is great teamwork.
Two sides who've set the Centenary Championship alight in their opening matches, running in tries and points galore. Something has got to give today as Cunningham drags St Helens up to the halfway line.
That's going to be a key factor for Saints, running from the dummy half, and there's none better than Kieran Cunningham. He gains valuable ground, but not as valuable as that. Superb kick. Picked the spot, split the winger and the full-back. Percentage football, he knows what it's all about. Apply the pressure now and hope that Wigan will make a mistake.
Yes, it's Wigan's head and feed at the scrum. They have a new scrum half, of course, in Henry Paul feeding that scrum, and now they just hope that Wigan will top possession up in their own quarter. Here's to Igamala, and there's Connolly. He's got a fire on his inside, and there's a mistake. It's Andy Norby, and the gamble coming off for St Helens.
He came on the inside, but Nicol really crunched him. He never really accepted that fire.
6 tackles to go here for St Helens. Goulding scampering, finding Matautia, going on the support. Goulding out wide to Loughlin. What a great tackle on that far side by Robinson. Goulding is so close, just held up short. Extreme pressure on this Wigan line. Matautia off his ankles almost. Great strength. Oh, it bounces off the knees. And Chris Joynt, he knows that that's a chance gone begging. Wigan was stretched.
Oh, the tension there. There was no one at home. There was no one in attendance. The nearest person to him was the referee. He knows it.
A fire stepping through the challenges, only Hall with him. Now Cassidy arrives.
But what a defence there. The tackle by Robinson. You won't see better than that.
Look at this from Connolly. He's scoused them. He's taken them on up the middle, and he's cut them to pieces. Connolly, the former St Helens player, touches down for Wigan. Oh, St Helens stood off. They delayed faithfully, and Connolly was through.
They allowed Wigan all the time in the world to get back up into the halfway line, and then it was the skills. A fire got them to that position. Ball out wide. They're so good, Wigan, to bringing it away from their own line. Remember, it was Wigan that was under pressure. Only a Robinson tackle, run from dummy half. Slow work. It was Nicol that was very slow in the second marker. Well spotted by Connolly. That is a well-taken try. Great thinking, look at that. They both went the same way. The first and second markers, Perolini and Nicol, they were at fault. He took full advantage. Quick thinking, under pressure like this, that's what it takes.
4 years at Nosey Road, Gary Connolly. And that's a happy moment for the St Helens-born Wigan star. Touches down easily underneath the black dot. And Farrell now with the chance to give Wigan an 8-point lead. Not a problem. From bang in front. 8-0. The champions ahead.
You can't afford to have your markers going the same way. That's what they did. Look at the space that they allowed him. He was quick. He knew he was on. Stepped on the gas. In and out. There was nothing that Prescott could do about that. Great individual try.
Some great names have worn the colours of both clubs. Mick Sullivan, who we heard from earlier, Frank Carlton, Andy Platt, Bill Francis, Bill Sayer, Dougie Lawton, and of course Gary Connolly, scorer of that try. Let's go downstairs to the pitch side and Bill with Alan Hunt.
Alan, an elementary error there from Saints and they got punished.
Yeah, obviously Gary is a world-class player, probably the best centre in the world at the moment, and he just noticed that one of the markers was a bit slow getting up and exploited it to, 6 points basically. It's something we've got to try and work on, try to put Wigan on the back, slow the play the ball down, because if you let them get the ascendancy, then they'll destroy you. But up to then it was quite an even game.
It was quite an even game up to then, but Henry Paul seems to me to be revelling in this role of scrum half. Nigel Wright is just inside in the standoff. The kick downfield, there's too much behind that. It runs dead in goal. That will be a tap on the 20-metre mark for St Helens.
You won't be happy with that. That was a nothing kick. Realised that they'd just raced into an 8-point lead. It did not apply the pressure that was needed. Well, a little bit shell-shocked to Saints, and rightly so. Their defence up to then had been superb. That was their first mistake in the defensive line. And their coach, Eric Hughes, will realise they can't afford to do any more of those.
That's better play from Nicol. He finds Northey. He's got Hayes outside him. Northey's going on his own. And he looked for Goulding, but put the ball to ground.
He can't believe it. Eric Hughes, the coach, just cannot believe that. Wonderful break from Northey, but a panic pass when really it needed settling down.
Eric Hughes' face told its own story, didn't it? He knows that perhaps that is a golden opportunity wasted.
And he knows also that they've failed to play out the 6, which is also important, especially when you're playing the champions.
Radlinski from fullback chimes in. Wright picks it up one-handed, goes round the corner looking for Paul, and only found the halfway line. But Paul has all the skill in the world. Look at this. Look at this run from Henry Paul. He's done 4 of them. And it was the 5th man in, Goulding, who pulled him down. Paul now chips it over the top for the space of Robinson, and only found the touchline. But it's quick thinking from Wigan, who know they've come into this match possibly as underdogs.
Even the Saints fans would have to applaud this. Second effort, determination, the skills on this youngster. Superb footballer. Wigan are running hot. It was a neat little chip over from the hooker, Martin Hall. Robinson couldn't get to it.
But he only just missed, didn't he?
Yeah, but watch this defence now from Wigan. They'll go in and crunch.
Loughlin, tall, long striding centre. That's a better run. That's the sort of run that could lift the Saints. Sullivan from dummy half makes no progress. Cowie has him. Here's Goulding. Now Scott Gibbs. Coming up to 14 minutes gone here at Nosey Road. 8-0, the champions ahead. Andy Northey keeping the legs pumping, making a few more vital meters, but that's the last tackle, and Saints are only just on halfway. Goulding digs it over the top. Prescott, he's got support from Joint. Wigan is stretched out wide. It's a terrible pass. It'll be the turnover. Loughlin couldn't get down to that.
You don't deserve to win a football game when you put the skills on like this and then throw it away with a stupid pass. Chris Joint, dearie me, Loughlin really should have put the toe to it, not taking the gamble and taking it on the half volley. That's a second chance gone begging, and once again they failed to play out the full 6.
Horton with the run. It's only halted by Sonny Nicol. He plays it quickly to Martin Hall. The big men arrive in support. Here's Connolly. Connolly is turning and looking for anyone to take the pass. No one fancied it. O'Fire, the dummy half, to O'Connor. Swinging arm there by Matautia. The referee's pinned him. That will be another Wigan penalty.
He didn't miss him either. Swinging arm straight up, right in front of Russell Smith. Intent was there, and Terry O'Connor would have the marbles well and truly rolling around in the brain box. Few choice words from the referee, Russell Smith. He's handled it well. Not just tension for the players out there, a lot of pressure on the referee too.
But it's only the second penalty of this game, despite the fact that the pressure is intense. The game is being played in the best possible spirit.
I know what's going through that man's mind. It was a superb set of skills, a little chip over the top that made the break.
Is being warmed up, Steve, excuse me. The St Helens, in fact, all the St Helens substitutes at the moment are out and are warming up.
Sometimes it works. The message gets out to the 13 on the field, lifts your game.
Farrell with this penalty attempt then. 8-0 it is. It'll be 10 if this goes over. And Wigan have exactly what St Helens didn't want to give them. A lead that is now in double figures. Contented man, Wigan coach Graham West.
He's every right to be as well. Professional performance so far from Wigan.
In communication with the dugout, of course, passing the messages. Just tweaking the knob almost on the control button for this Wigan outfit. spying things from side that will just help his charges, and via the walkie-talkie passing them on to his second lieutenant Joe Lydon on the bench.
Wigan going through the basics, just using the forwards to run it out. That's 3 tackles. They normally make it to the halfway line.
No one standing in front of Cowie. He makes more valuable meters. That's another 20 meters made. Here's Farrell now to charge it towards the quarter line.
Tremendous play. 4 drives and they put the pressure. They're into the Saints quarter.
It's Nigel Wright on the last tackle. A dink into space over the top. Sullivan was there, but he's in trouble. And he's forced back over the line. And that will be a dropout from underneath the St Helens post.
Excellent kick and excellent chase. Superb stuff. Nigel Wright, Robinson. Second effort. Look at that. You're going nowhere. They are so pumped up, this Wigan outfit. 10-point lead. They do not relax at any time.
Sullivan just couldn't get out of trouble. Saints, I think, have got the wind at their backs. That's a huge dropout, but it's fallen to Radlinski, and he's made 20 metres, and he's got through Perolini. He won't get through Nicol. Paul at dummy half to O'Connor, who puffs the cheeks out. Martin Hall, Welsh international. Nick Cassidy escapes the clutches of Norby. Nicol is having to work hard in defence, along with Kieran Cunningham. Paul to Nigel Wright and back to Henry Paul. Showed it to 2 players and held on. And then Matautia got to him. Here's Tuigamala. Wrestle to the floor. Remember, Tuigamala destroyed them here late on in the match on Boxing Day last year. And he's got the penalty because Loughlin was interfering with him as he tried to regain his feet.
Well, it's silly play from Loughlin. They've already made the tackle. You can see him giving a facial right in front of the referee. These are silly penalties. He knows it. The coach will be going absolutely crackers. He's happy.
Well, Wigan have decided to go for the try rather than the 2 points that Farrell might have got with the penalty attempt.
It's good thinking as well. It's way out there, wide. There's a strong wind against him. That's a good option to take.
O'Connor on the first drive to within 4 metres of that St Helens line. Martin Hall to Paul, and here's Cowie. Wigan firmly in the driving seat. Paul switches the direction of the attack to Cassidy. Connolly and O'Fire are screaming for it out wide here on the left.
They got lost there, Wigan. It shouldn't have gone back on the blind side.
They have again with Andrew Farrell, who scores. They were all expecting the ball to be spun out wide to Connolly and to O'Fire. Instead of that, they went back on the blind side, and Andrew Farrell scored perhaps one of the easiest tries of his season.
Simple switch. Swivel round there. He's having the time of his life. Henry Paul is enjoying this immensely, and so is the loose forward. The skipper for the day, Andrew Farrell, throws the dummy, spins round, the pirouette's there. They fail to move up, and the big loose forward gets in for the 4. It's simple. No one goes near him. Look at that. 3 went across. There was nothing that Fogarty could do about it. And I'm afraid the Saints are in shambles.
Farrell, who scored the try, will now try and convert the try. Andy Farrell, a giant in the game. 52 points in his first 3 matches of Wigan's season. Young Player of the Year for the past 2 years in a row. Captain today, and 3 out of 3. But what a match Henry Paul is having. We thought perhaps the absence of Edwards would be a weak Wigan link. Paul will hear none of that. Farrell adds the extras. Wigan are coasting 16-0.
Lazy work in defence. They're both having a little rest out there. Switch on the back, and look at that. Not surprisingly, Fogarty was replaced straight after that. It's a cruel game at times, but when you let in a soft try like that, I'm not surprised that he was brought off the paddock.
Here's Yes, Bernard Dwyer is on to replace Adam Fogarty. That's better defence from Dwyer and from Matautia. My mind goes back, Steve-O, to Boxing Day last year when Wigan built a lead like this, and in the second half the Saints came back at them, and in the end we got an absolute classic, which Wigan did just win.
Oh, don't write the Saints off yet. Still a long way to go.
They've got to start tackling though, and making the tackles count, and making the tackles legally be felt.
Well, they've lost their way a little bit in their defence. They're not talking to each other, the Saints players. They've got to work hard, especially the second marker, and that's what's letting them down.
Hall drills it, and it bounced off Scott Gibbs. Hall will pick up, and it's not 6 to go. Hall tries to just knock it over the top, but it went out on the full.
Well, I think for a few seconds the hooker thought that he was turned into a three-quarter, found himself in open space on the blind side. Not the best kick. Now Saints really have to start building from here and get the forwards working. That's been the difference. The Wigan pack have really been moving forward and working hard.
Referee is not happy with the challenge by Cowie on Sonny Nicol, and Nicol has gone down in a heap.
Swinging left arm. He made contact as well. Crunch time. Oh. Well, I'm sure that is the last warning. He's already given a caution to Matautia on the Saints side. Referee Russell Smith evens things up with a caution to Neil Cowie.
Neil Cowie, one of the Wigan front rowers who's under intense pressure because there's Kelvin Skerrett on the bench. O'Connor is there alongside him, and there's also Barry McDermott coming back to fitness and form. Meanwhile, Sonny Nicol takes a refreshing drink and grimaces as he gets to his face. He felt that.
It's important now that the Saints skipper Bobby Goulding really does take control here. Not panic football. Don't rush into things. They're facing a 16-point deficit. They have to build slowly.
Perellini, what would St Helens give for a try now? Cunningham gets the ball away to Chris Joint. He finds Gibbs, Laughlin, Sullivan. But you get the impression when Saints are on the attack, Steve-O, it's all very rushed, all under pressure, although Saints keep the possession and the movement going, courtesy of Gibbs.
Well, they're standing too flat. They want to be a little bit deeper because this Wigan defence is moving up. Is away.
Perellini drops it. Who has the possession? Wigan do.
He'll play the first knock on. Now it's Rydlinski that reefed that ball out. Touch judge or the referee didn't see it. And the big fella went for it again. Beautiful play though by Sullivan. How he kept this ball in field. Great support there by Gibbs.
Would you say that's fair comment though, that whenever Wigan are on the defensive and St Helens are coming at them, that St Helens, they don't look as though they're convinced they can score?
Well, they're shell-shocked at the moment because of this Wigan defence moving up to them far too quickly. They've got to sort themselves out and get deeper. Give yourself that extra yard. At the moment, they're not even trying it.
Cowie, the dummy half to Nigel Wright. Steps inside Bernard Dwyer. Cunningham takes a piggyback, but they give it to Paul, who at the moment, quite frankly, is destroying Saints. To Igamala. They know what this fella can do.
Quick play the ball, good running from the dummy half. Saints are still being caught going backwards. And as you say, this guy is having a dream game.
Well, what is his best position? They keep the movement going again. Here is Paul. There's 6 to go. They won't need them. Nigel Wright maintains this magnificent start to his new Wigan career. Nigel Wright with the try, and that's his 5th try of this season, and the season is just 9 days old.
Who said they'd miss Sean Edwards? He is just having a ball out there. Henry Paul sets the big fella in motion. Twigamala. We're lucky to get hold of that, but luck favours the men that want to try something different. Superb pass. He missed Connolly out, and Nigel Wright in for yet another try. Look at the skills there. The strength. Twigamala, let's keep the ball alive. Wonderful stuff. Goulding couldn't put it in. Robinson, and look at that superb pass. They both went for Connolly, and Wright said, it's mine. Celebration of a different kind. I have no idea. Yes. Whether it's referring to my hairstyle, I don't know. An unusual celebration, but what a great try.
He's started to tick, hasn't he, in the cherry and white hoops, as Nigel Wright, £140,000, the game's costliest teenager. Didn't really set them on fire at Wigan, so they sent him to Wakefield to regain his confidence, back from whence he came. And he's regained the confidence with a vengeance. Andrew Farrell, 4 from 4, and this is eminently kickable again. I hexed him. 20 points to 0. Champions in total control at the moment.
Notice how the dummy runner, that's the one with the arrow. Connolly, they use him as a dummy. The ball goes out wide. See how they hesitated. Nicol it was that was caught out, and it was enough for Nigel Wright to squeeze in. Hard times for that man. They have not taken their opportunities. Wasted chances. Wigan have taken theirs.
The St Helens coach, Eric Hughes, this is what he didn't want. He wanted to match Wigan for the opening quarter of an hour and see where they went from there. It's not over yet. 28 minutes of this match gone, but Wigan are certainly in the mood here. The big stars have gone. Some unfamiliar names have come in. Nothing changes at Central Park, though.
The ability to back up the man with the ball. It is superb football. It's mechanical-like.
Here's Horton. Horton striding through. Simon Horton's taking on Prescott out wide, and will get there. Oh, Simon Horton. Who needs Dennis Betts? Simon Horton has filled the second row berth quite magnificently this season already. Try number 4.
It's as though they just have a conveyor belt at Central Park. One goes, they unearth another. Look at that. It was a feeble attempt from Gibbs. Once again, the defence failed to move up and shut them down. And when this guy gets into the mood, nothing's going to stop him. The lovely little pass there. Cowie sucking in 2 players. Nicol came in. Gibbs was slow to fill in the gap. If you don't slide quickly, this is what occurs. Great try. Beautiful pass from Cowie. Look at that. Drew in the defence. Nicol couldn't get anywhere near. Neither could Prescott. A star of the future.
19 years old, Simon Horton. Try in Dublin, 2 at Workington. It's his first full derby, this, and he's crowned it with a try. Wigan rampant. St Helens shell-shocked. Andrew Farrell has this conversion to take, but the ball just will not sit on that little mountain of sand. There's a very strong breeze blowing here at Knowsley Road today. But St Helens, they know they have been hit by an avalanche, and they must be wondering now what on earth can they do to stop this. Inga, the winger, steadying the football for Andrew Farrell. Well, the ball fell over, I think, just as he was about to kick it. And Vaiga Twigamala can't believe it, but I think he can believe that scoreline, 24-0.
This is where Cowie created the gap, and the man arrowed Gibbs didn't move in quick enough. You must move in, work hard in defence, and they're not. Half-hearted attempt on a big fella like that, you'll never drag him down. Beautiful time pass. And the second rower really did run onto it well. What a start in the making. Simon Horton They get rid of Dennis Betts, and he just comes out of nowhere.
Well, Dennis Betts has said that he wants to just play the World Cup. Sean Edwards with the natty headgear. Dennis Betts says he wants to play the World Cup after his season down under is over, and he won't be coming now to Wigan on a short-term lease. And the way Simon Horton's playing, well, they don't need him.
But he can't ignore talent like that, and he's in superb form.
Neil Cowie, but he just threw Kieran Cunningham out of the way. And here's Henry Paul, who gives it to Farrell. And they're standing up. St Helens are allowing Wigan to run straight at them, and they're not getting a tackle in. Nigel Wright, there's one for a fire to chase. That will hold in the breeze. Prescott takes it well.
Beautiful take. Eyes on the football at all time. Good tackle from Martin Fire. It was a beautiful judged kick. Well, everything that Wigan's doing today is certainly paying off.
Let's hear from Bill Arthur on the touchline.
Meanwhile, Mick Cassidy has limped off with a leg injury. Looks like his right knee. On has come Scott Quinnell in his place. Alan Hunt alongside me. What on earth can Saints do now, Alan?
Well, basically, they've got to try and slow the play ball down still. Because if you let a team get a roll, then you're always on the back foot, and it's a lot easier to attack against. That, alongside when you have the ball, you've got to try and control it for the set of six. Thus, like, obviously the opposition haven't got the ball, so they can't score tries against you. So really, we've got to try and slow the play the ball down and keep possession as much as we can, try and put Wigan under a bit of pressure.
4 try-scoring opportunities for Saints. They blew them all.
That's it. And not only did we blow them, but we handed the ball over to Wigan rather than taking it to the set of 6. I think one was on the 5th tackle, so it wasn't as bad. But others were 2nd, 3rd, 4th tackle, so where we could still have carried on an attack against them. And if you turn the ball over to Wigan too much, then they're going to destroy you, which they are at the moment.
They are destroying them. That's Radlinski, and this is Twigamala. Connolly's outside him, and Connolly will cut in field, and they're hanging off Connolly, and Connolly's going to get in again. This is turning into a rout. Gary Connolly's second try salutes the Wigan faithful, dances with delight with Radlinski, and St Helens are in deep, deep trouble here. If it was a boxing match, Steve-O, the referee would have to step in and stop it because of cruelty.
Even I would jump in and throw the towel in. But you can't take anything away from the beautiful class that's on display from Wigan. They are lethal from within their own quarter. Time and time again, they've done it for season after season. They counter-attack. They really are at their most dangerous when you kick the ball deep, and if the chase and defence is not good from the scrum base, look how they stand back. You can't afford to do that. There was acres of space for the fullback Radlinski. The big fella just passed it on, and the cover defence, they all went across. There was nothing that Andy Northey could get anywhere near. He's in fine form, the best perhaps I've seen him play. He really is eager, hungry for work, and what a time for him to hit top form with the World Cup just around the corner.
Andrew Farrell waiting to take this conversion attempt. Wigan 28-0 ahead. The St Helens crowd are suddenly hushed. The Wigan supporters, though, are enjoying their Bank Holiday Monday. And Wigan have hit 30 points. St Helens 0, Wigan 30. The Saints fans are booing their favourites.
It's man-on-man at the scrum, and there you can see quite clearly 2 Saints players are going for 1 man. As soon as the ball is out to the fullback, Radlinski, they have got space. And when they have space, that's when they turn on the power.
Well, this match today marks Wigan's run of 13 consecutive victories before this match started. A frightening thing for the opposition has been the scale of those 13 victories. The lowest score of the new season was 45 against Leeds in Dublin. And indeed, their 30 points to 10 Wembley Cup final defeat of Leeds is the lowest score in the 13-match winning sequence. Well, they've hit 30 already.
Sheer frustration there from Sullivan. Happy to get the big fella down. He's having a top game, Andrew Farrell. He really does lift the game when he's been made the skipper. He's all over him was Anthony Sullivan. They are really, really in a lot of trouble, this Saints outfit. They've lost all their composure. All that hard work, the build-up to this game has gone completely out of the window.
They will be so disappointed. They're disappointed on the terraces, and they're making their feelings known. But I'll tell you what, the players will be heartbroken. Quinnell, Twigamala.
They're just playing with the Saints defence. Look at that.
Radlinski, Horton, bounces off Matautia. That's a better tackle. Matautia for the flop, not a penalty. Silly play from the St Helens second rower.
He could go to the bin. Professional foul. Oh, that really is silly play. Frustration. They were talking about a new professionalism at St Helens this season. Well, we saw it for the first 5 or 6 minutes, but I'm afraid it does not surprise me that the partisan fans here aren't too impressed. Not a great showing, and I would love to be a fly on the wall in the Saints dressing room at half-time.
What on earth, Steve-O, can Eric Hughes say to them? I mean, he's got to go back to basics, hasn't he?
Certainly. Forget about the game plan, because he knows they have, the players, all the hard work. He looks stunned. He's every right to. He knew what to expect. He knows that you cannot allow this Wigan side to take control and run riot.
There's a happy man, though, Graham West, the Wigan coach.
Contented, I think, would be the word.
Farrell adds another 2 points with the penalty for the flop by Matautia. 32 points to 0. Goulding gets on with it. And direct from the kick-off, he has found touch. But listen to the St Helens supporters. They cannot believe this. A season that has started so brightly and, to be fair, so brilliantly, has in the space of 39 minutes come crashing round their ears. That's a better tackle. Scott Gibbs on Gary Connolly. Henry Paul. Scott Gibbs again with the tackle. Here's Terry O'Connor. Oh! Almost run over the top of Chris Joynt. Took a bang then, did O'Connor as well. He is to Twigamala.
The ease that Wigan are getting over that advantage line is absolutely amazing. Look at them holding back, Saints.
Robinson again, another 20 metres made. Last tackle there for St Helens. Farrell shaped to kick long, dinked it over the top. Prescott's made a meal of it. A good job that Sullivan was there.
Crafty play by Andrew Farrell. St Helens expected the big bomb. They stood off him. It was a neat little chip over.
This is better from Prescott. Steve Prescott is collared eventually by Connolly, but he loses the ball. And who's come up with it? Scott Quinnell.
He can't believe it. Prescott, after all that hard work, a simple mistake, and Wigan charge on again.
Howie to Hall. A fire's there. A fire gets away from Chris Joynt. And a fire ran down a blind alley then. He was surrounded by his own players and by Saints. O'Connor, Matautia over the top.
Matautia saying to his players, come on, that's how we got to tackle. He's right.
Right to Quinnell.
Keep your eye out for the combination of Nigel Wright, Henry Paul.
Andy Farrell finds Connolly. Back to Farrell again. He gives it to Horton. St Helens look out on their feet. Right. Knock on.
Bad mistake there from the hooker, Martin Hall. Just a little one. Well spotted by the referee, Russell Smith.
That angle I'm not so sure it was, but Saints won't be arguing.
Yes, it was.
And I'm not having seen it second time.
I don't believe it.
But it is Bank Holiday Monday. There's the siren. Boos from the St Helens supporters. Applause and cheers from the Wigan fans. Gary Connolly started the rout with the first try after just 8 minutes. And what a load of rubbish chant the St Helens supporters as their team make their way to the dressing room to hear words of wisdom, I hope, from coach Eric Hughes. Andy Farrell, little wink. He knows what a blistering first half the champions have had. They have blitzed St Helens. They have played them off the field. The scoreline tells its own story. The Saints 0, the champions 32.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Coming live this autumn on Sky Sports, there's USPGA Golf, the Alfred Dunhill Cup, and for the first time live on Sky Sports, the 1995 Ryder Cup. Boxing is big time this autumn, with live title fights from Ben, Bruno, Eubank and Nassim. Live Premiership football, 2 England internationals, Scottish football, and Manchester United in Europe for the UEFA Cup. Don't miss out on live World Team Darts, Scottish Masters Snooker. Club Rugby Union is back, and there's 14 days of live US Open tennis. Plus, we follow England's cricketers on their tour of South Africa.
You're unbelievable.
We're back in the big league for more hard-hitting rugby league action. With 2 dedicated sports channels, Sky Sports is there to bring you the best in live sport this autumn.
You're unbelievable.
Everyone's a winner with JJB Sports and Nike. Just do it in the Nike Brasilia football boot, only $39.99. There's the Air Support football boot at a stunning $49.99. Play like a pro in the Nike Tiempo Pro football boot at amazing $34.99. Then check out JJB for Nike's Estadio football boot at an incredible $29.99.
Everyone's a winner, baby.
Kellogg's Crunchy Nut Cornflakes are delicious golden flakes of corn with honey, nuts, and brown sugar. Which makes them absolutely irresistible. Kellogg's Crunchy Nut Cornflakes. The trouble is, they taste too good.
You have to have a passion about wine, otherwise get out the business. Wine is a product that lives. Sheer poetry, romance, excitement. One bottle of wine is very, very important. So I don't want wine that's due for New York ending up in London. One bottle can mean to us 5 years' work. It can mean 30, 40,000 cases. We trust them implicitly. They haven't failed me yet. That's why I work with them. I trust DHL that when they undertake a job, they do it.
DHL. We keep your promises.
I don't work with amateurs.
Call the insurance service now on 0800 989898 and you could save up to 20% on your motor insurance.
Seize the day.
Well, can you believe that scoreline? St Helens 0, Wigan 32. Tries 2 from Connolly, Farrell, Wright and Simon Horton. Andy Farrell has kicked 6 goals. The champions running riot here at Knowsley Road in this match that marks the game's centenary. And on the evidence of the first 40 minutes, it'll be a centenary before St Helens overturn their arch rivals. I think, from what the spectators told me on the way back up to the studio here, it's all Steve-O's fault. He tipped them for the championship, so too did Maurice Lindsay. And Mr. Stevenson, you are not the most popular man in the Knowsley Road area of Merseyside.
Perhaps not, but I am very disappointed with St Helens. They were talking about professionalism, they've gone fully professional, and quite frankly, they have not produced the goods. They have not worked for each other, they look absolutely flat on their feet, they never ever played out to any sort of game plan, and that is not professionalism. On the other hand, we have seen absolute superb football from Wigan. They are a tremendous outfit, they work hard, they share the work in the forwards, and the way that Henry Paul and Nigel Wright are combining, who needs Sean Edwards? They are having a ball.
Well, it's true, you just changed the names, but you don't seem to protect the innocent. Now, Paul Cullen used some very nice adjectives to describe what would happen in this match. He said, apart from everything else, the game would explode. It's gone off like a bit of a damp squib from a St Helens point of view, Paul.
Quite. I mean, Wigan set the platform better than any team I've ever seen. Drive 1, 2, 3 and 4 are carried out with clinical precision, and from that they have Saints on the back foot, and with this dismal St Helens defence, they offloading for fun. So the only answer that Eric Hughes can portray to the St Helens side is they have to tackle and force Wigan to stop coming forward. They are basically breaking at will.
Well, we've just worked it out, and we were talking about Castleford's Joiners Juniors, you may remember, on Friday night. We must talk about West's little wonders here, because it's 22 years and 9 months. That's the average age of this Wigan team that is on show here today and is completely taking St Helens to the cleaners. One of the older statesmen is Gary Connolly, and Steve-O, this was his first try.
Tremendous thinking by Connolly. Once again, we see that the very slow second marker, they both went the same way. You just cannot afford. I said before the game started that you had to make sure your defence was solid. That would be the key. Well, I'm afraid the Saints' defence has just fallen apart, and you can't afford to do that against the Wigan side. Look at this. They are just toying with them, playing with them. Back on the inside, defence failing to fill in. All they have to do is just switch it once. It's just basic football.
Henry Paul is having an absolute stormer, Paul Cullen.
Well, we've said that Henry Paul had played scrum half once against Warrington in the Locker Cup, and he did exactly the same thing. He spun, he turned, he threw the ball everywhere, and with service and support like that, they're going to score every time they run forward.
Nigel Wright delighted with that, wasn't he? And no wonder, Steve-O, he's waited a long time for this opportunity.
What, to do that?
To score the try.
Oh, classic play. And look at this, the way that Cowie just drags in the two defenders. It's all about one-on-one marking. And what a great game. What a start of the future this kid is. Horton, they lose bets. Everybody says they'll be weak. Not when a player like that comes along. That was tremendous play. But this has been one of their biggest problems, Saints. Nice kick deep, they had the scrum. What do? Instead of one-on-one marking, two men went for the standoff, ball out wide, Redlinski, Twiggamala does the rest, and this guy is in sensational form. What a time for him to hit his peak just with the World Cup round the corner. Eager for work, and I think he's got locked faster.
He has, hasn't he?
Yes.
Steve-O, Paul, where on earth does St Helens go from here now at half-time? I suppose Eric Hughes will be saying over in that dressing room, look, it's 0-0, half-time, let's go out and at least play for some pride.
Well, St Helens, the only thing they can do at the moment is to stop the error count. That has to be their most progressive thing. Stop the penalties, stop the error count, and put more effort in defence. Not simply on the head-on tackles, but on the cover as well, because Wigan are unloading the ball for fun. And if they do not move up on the inside and come in and cover the angles, Wigan are just going to score every time somebody takes the ball and unloads that short pass.
They must be desperately disappointed, mustn't they?
Oh, they are. Look, it's psychological warfare out there now. It's a matter of whether Hughes can actually get it into their brain that they can start thinking to go and lift themselves, because the crowd, they are against them.
They are against them. The crowd at St Helens want to see some pride second half, and let's be fair, so do we, and I'm sure so do the Saints players. Can they come back off the canvas and give us a second half to savour? Let's hope so, but look at that scoreline. Wigan 32, St Helens 0, the champions in marvellous form.
You're watching Sky Sports.
That's a thin base, extra tuna, no anchovy.
That's why you need a mobile phone. The Panasonic J costs $9.99, including free connection to the Cellnet network. Call us today on 0800 432 432 with your credit card details, and we'll deliver this phone to you direct. Call Phones Direct on 0800 432 432.
Do you deliver?
CoverGirl Rachel Hunter.
Now this is magic. Liquid and powder and one makeup.
Now from CoverGirl, something truly amazing. Ultimate Finish makeup. It glides on weightlessly, covering just like a liquid, then instantly transforms to a soft powder finish.
Liquid and powder in one makeup.
Ultimate Finish makeup. Finalist in the New Woman Beauty Awards.
Few people understand the needs of today's motorists as well as QuickFit. Now we are introducing QuickFit Insurance Services.
It was so easy. One call and I was insured.
And they have 24-hour accident assistance here and in Europe.
And with a comprehensive policy,
QuickFit Insurance Services will give you a free replacement car if yours is being repaired.
We've got the right policy for you at the right price. Phone QuickFit Insurance Services right now on 0345
470
270.
What do you get if you cross a hippo, a strawberry, and a moose? A hippo, strawberry, moose.
If you're on the ball, you could win great sports gear with St Ivel Gold Light. £500,000 worth of prizes include sweatshirts, trainers and mountain bikes, or whatever else you fancy as Olympus sport, with a £5 gift voucher. Look out for these special tubs of St Ivel Gold Light. Peel back the foil, find a gold cross, and you've won. So if you've a taste for the healthy life, open a tub of low-fat St Ivel Gold Light. It's got to be good to be gold.
One of the biggest nights in British boxing history. Hill defends his light heavyweight title. Ashley defends his British light heavyweight title. Ben defends his super middleweight title. And Bruno takes on the world.
I've got to do it this time.
Wembley Stadium is the venue for big-time boxing.
I'm ready to fight anybody.
And any contender has better watch out.
I am not ready to give up my title.
Get ready, Sir Bruno. We're after you, baby.
The big one.
The challenger for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World, Frank Bruno!
His final attempt against title holder Oliver McCall.
Believe me, you're going to see a real jab when I get in there with Bruno.
Can he do it?
I'm going to make this my year, you know?
One of the biggest nights in British boxing history.
Nice to be on Sky, you know what I mean?
Big time boxing, live and exclusive, Saturday at 8 on Sky Sports.
Seize the day.
St Helens must think they have stood in the way of an express train and had it run all over them. 32 points to nil. Connolly, Farrell, Wright, Horton. 5 tries, 6 goals for Farrell. And Gary Connolly, who began the rout with the try in the 8th minute, grabbed 2 tries in that second half. He scored the first and last of the 5. Well, Steve-O summed it up perfectly at half-time. It's psychological warfare that is going on out there now, because the Saints know they have got to perform in this second half. Otherwise, a lot of the goodwill that has come their way this season could evaporate. I'm talking from the terraces. There are some very disillusioned St Helens fans inside this ground, I can tell you. Second half of this match to mark the game's centenary in this Stones Bitter Centenary Championship season is underway with a kick-off from Goulding. And what damage can Saints repair, Steve-O, in the second half?
Well, you mentioned pride. That is one thing. When we're talking about professionalism, this club needed success, and it won't help their cause when you get a big scoreline like this against you. It's vital, the first 10 minutes. Vital for Saints.
Penalty. St Helens stealing the ball from Tuigamala in the tackle.
Well, he did. He definitely got a hand to it, Chris Joynt. Well, the frustration continues. Not the best start to the second half.
And Andy Farrell, from just a metre inside the St Helens half, fancies having a shot at goal because the wind is behind him.
That's the amazing thing, that Wigan scored 32 points against a brisk wind. And when you look at the St Helens skipper, Bobby Goulding, one of the finest tactical kickers in the game, and they didn't take it to full advantage. 3 kicks down into the corner from Goulding, and they failed to chase and keep Wigan within their own quarter. Wigan come back and score 3 tries.
So Farrell then, what'll it be? About 48 metres from those St Helens posts. It's on its way. Doesn't reach, and what's more, doesn't go dead, so Prescott can run it out. So the Wigan captain for the day misses with the first opportunity for points second half. The injured Wigan captain, of course, is watching this from the sidelines. He's alongside Bill.
Sean Edwards, that was a near perfect first 40 for Wigan, wasn't it?
Yeah, total members in the know.
But I think Saints played right into your hands, didn't they?
Well, I think what happened was Saints, every time they got down in our danger zone, they seemed to lose possession, whereas we've completed 20 out of 22 sets of 6, which is, you know, quite awesome, really.
Do you think Saints had started to panic very early on in the game, didn't they?
Yeah, as I said, they got down in danger zone a couple of times, lost the ball. We've completed it in virtually every set of 6. We've had it except for 2. You know, and that's without just going 1 out. We've used plenty of ball movement. We're just playing pretty good.
32-0 up. I suppose the danger is you ease off the gas a bit. Has the emphasis been at half-time not to do that?
Yeah, the emphasis is just to continue playing, play the sets of 6 and control the ball.
Sean, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Just control the ball. Sean Edwards watching as Farrell just picks himself up off the ground, gives it to Hall, who gives it to Paul, who gives it to Nigel Wright.
Well, we saw the slack defence again from St Helens. Andrew Farrell just strolled away 15 metres downfield without any player getting anywhere near him.
Radlinski's chip over the top was far too strong. Anthony Sullivan will now try and run that ball through the Wigan defence, but they almost slipped through O'Connor, but there was 2 more, Wright and Cowie waiting for him. Now there's space perhaps for Joynt to exploit. Loughlin now on his own from dummy half. Gets Tuigamala, but Wigan offside. And is that the first St Helens penalty? The second.
Played the advantage at Russell Smith, but Robinson never made any attempt to get back.
Here's Bernard Dwyer. St Helens desperate to make a fight of its second half. Cunningham to Perolini. That's better. A good tackle in the end, coming in from Quinnell. Oh, and that's Matautia putting his shoulder to the wheel.
Great defence, though. Cowie was well and truly on top of him.
Goulding to Loughlin. Loughlin is going to be forced out of play, and is. He gets a little rub of the head from Vaiga Tuigamala.
Great defence. See how they kept the man up all the time. Not only put him into touch, make sure he went dead in goal so that they could get possession on the quarter. Rock solid is their defence.
3 to bring O'Connor down. Hall to Horton. Oh, Perolini felt that. Robinson, the dummy half. Followed by Joynt, and he escapes the clutches. Still Robinson, and the pass to Wright. Now to Cowie. St Helens are chasing shadows.
I'm not so sure that Cowie was expecting that. Oh, Connolly again.
From dummy half, through 2, through 3, but not through the fourth, Andy Norby. Martin Hall, Henry Paul. Having a wow of a game, Henry Paul. Oh, Nigel Wright. Scott Quinnell was there, Nigel Wright. So close again. That's the last tackle. Tuigamala wants it out here. Tried to dab it through. Maybe he saw Big Dave King do that on Sky Sports last night for Warrington.
Not the best option there. They should have played the ball back. A little bit selfish play.
Offside, Wigan at that play the ball.
Relief for the Saints. They badly need it. I just cannot understand their one line of defence is so tired. They're just not working for each other. They seem to have forgotten the impetus to try to say to each other, come on, move in.
It's a shadow of a side we saw, 8 days ago against Bradford, this. Mind you, they're playing Wigan, they're not playing Bradford.
True, but you shouldn't be shell-shocked so early. You work so hard at training. Remember, they've gone full-time here.
That's better. Goulding to Joint. The tackle from Tuigamala. Cunningham, the dummy half. Scampers away. Good run from Cunningham.
It was a great run, but there was no support.
He's on his own. Nicol is too. On his Todd is Nicol. So close to the line. But the ball, I think, was a knock-on. He lost possession.
Driving towards the line, but he just lost it at the last minute. Solid defence, scrambling. He tried to lean forward there. Nigel Wright telling the referee it was a knock-on.
So Henry Paul feeds that scrum. Referee is unhappy, the ball didn't go in properly. That's better now, a fire. Oh, Joint caught him one then.
Stepped inside onto that one, nothing malicious.
What do you think of the blue rinse, by the way, from a fire today, Steve-O?
Really haven't taken much notice. So much skill on display today. A hint of a tint.
O'Connor. Plays it to Martin Hall. Here's Cowie.
Oh, dearie me, he's got to go for that. I'm afraid he has to go.
What's more, he's getting involved in the players who pull him off. He's lost his marbles, as Vilat Matautia.
That was malicious, I'm afraid. Going to the head. Matautia, in my book, should get the red card. All the skills on display. We do not want that in our game of rugby league. Play it tough by all means, but that can do a lot of damage. Easily to break a jaw, a cheekbone. He's a lucky boy. Very, very lucky indeed. That is a bad one. You could see the eyes roll in Cowie on the impact. Made no attempt to tackle fairly. He knew exactly what he's about to do. I cannot believe that referee Russell Smith has left him on the field.
Well, he has. He's there, number 11. Shrilling out of your picture. Here's Quinnell. Martin Hall to Henry Paul again. And Farrell.
Another surprising factor. Why didn't Russell Smith perhaps cross the arms and say, I'll leave it to the disciplinary, so I'll put him on report so they can have a look at it.
Tuigamala to a fire. A fire! Will score under the sticks. The blue rinse comes up with 4. Martin Afire, his 3rd try of the season. He knows how to celebrate.
Well, I'm afraid the defence of St Helens was caught again. You talk about the blue rings. I think it was the blue ring set that was doing the defending there. In and out. Oh, dearie me. That was not the best defence. But once again, Wigan, they powered their way into a position. Look at that superb ball out wide. All the acres of space they've got. It was a planned move. Twigamala knew that the flyer was coming in on the inside. Yeah, you deserve it, Martin. That was a well-worked try. No one within cooey of any of these players. Watch for the reverse pass inside. Oh, superb. In and out. Defence just trying to scrag him.
Martin Afire, his 150th Wigan try on Wednesday. His 151st on this, his 129th appearance. Quite a record for the Wigan winger. Again, the ball has fallen off the sand for Andrew Farrell. Balances precariously, doesn't it? And in this wind, well, Farrell's banging in front. These are the ones that give him pressure, he says. Could have fooled me. Gets worse for Saints. 38-0.
Plan move, back on the inside. Superb stuff. Doesn't run the angle, steps soon as he gets the football. Finds the gap. The dejected look on all the Saints defenders. They are in a lot of trouble.
Well, they are. They are universally accepted as perhaps being Wigan's closest challengers. And at 38 points to nil, what does that say about them? Loughlin's gone off, by the way. Andy Haig has come on. Got a match to come into. 38-0 down. But what does it say about
they are just
the Saints
simply
season?
the best. They are well coached. They work hard. They share the work as well. They don't do any silly stuff. They very rarely give away silly penalties. And as Sean Edwards mentioned, they work and play their full complement of six.
And they maraud down the middle with Farrell. And Farrell gave it straight into the arms of Bobby Goulding. And there's the difference. Goulding is on his own.
Well, Goulding was going forward, and the Saints players was going backwards.
Referee wants Neil Cowie, and Neil Cowie will go to the sin bin for the professional foul on Goulding. He stole the ball.
Well, that was amazing. Flop all over the top. You see him looking towards the touch judge to see if he could get away with it.
Well, Wigan now down to 12 men. Can Wigan get across the line now? And what's more, can the Saints get across the line now? Dwyer picks himself up. Goulding turns the ball back inside. Pickavance has come on. Cunningham on his own, and he gets it down, does he? Yes! Wigan, one man short, Cowie in the sin bin, and Cunningham takes advantage of the extra space.
It all came about from the intercept. Farrell was on the inside. It was well read by Bobby Goulding. But you can see that it was going forward, and the St Helens players were still going backwards. They never made any attempt to try to support him. Quick thinking, though, from the hooker, Kieran Cunningham. He's not thrown the towel in. Just squeezes the ball in. And for once, the Wigan defence is caught. He did get that down. Rydlinski did try to get his arm underneath. But that was good thinking from the hooker. He could see that the second marker wasn't doing it well. That is a good try. Good position by the referee too.
Kieran Cunningham with the try. Bobby Goulding adds the extras. Flags go up. St Helens have 6. And Wigan, they have 38. And Bobby Goulding trying to rally the troops for a big effort.
Russell Smith having a quick word to Andrew Farrell, the Wigan skipper, saying, come on, get on with it. Wigan, of course, quite happy to take their time, and oh, the ball's dropped off the mound. How unfortunate.
Farrell drills it along the ground. Got Gibbs, picks it up, gives it to Andy Haig. Andy Haig knows what it's like to be a winner against Wigan. He was in the Academy Cup final, and so was young Joey Hayes. The Academy Cup final that went St Helens' way at Old Trafford last May. The try has lifted St Helens' spirits both on the field and on the terraces.
Confidence booster indeed, and also that run from youngster Hayes.
Here's Haig, clobbered by Farrell. Dwyer, the dummy half. Joint is with him. Twigamala says, I'll have him. He releases the pass, though, and Cunningham feeds Bobby Goulding, and Goulding gives it to Dwyer, and Twigamala wrestles him to the ground. Here's Pickavance. Well, if only this would have started 55 minutes ago for Saints. That's the turnover on the last tackle.
Substitute misread it there, didn't realise he was the last one. Oh, he's away!
This is Connolly on the hat-trick, of course. Connolly. Gibbs misses him. He's over halfway. Goulding misses him. Connolly. Hayes missed him. Gives it to Hall. Gives it to Offiah. Offiah waits for the support to arrive. Gets away from Prescott. Here comes Horton. Well,
sheer skill from Connolly. What a great game.
Robinson. Connolly down and injured as Robinson attacks and scores. Men trailing in Robinson's wake. There's about 2 or 3 players flat out in St Helens colours as Robinson made his way to the line and touched down underneath the woodwork again.
Once again from deep within their own quarter, and it's that man, Gary Connolly. I mentioned at half-time he looks to have got faster this season. He also looks more determined, but they are just playing around with this Saints defence. Stopping, starting, Martin Offiah just stops, parks the car, and then says, OK, anyone want it? Support play has been excellent today. The strength, 3 men going to it, and then a quick run from dummy half. Once again, no good work from the second marker. That is a great try. From start to finish, determination, look at that. Feeble defence, but let's not take anything off this guy. Determined run, great try.
Jason Robinson, 21 for Great Britain caps. Andy Farrell, 25 Great Britain caps. Andy Farrell, 2 extra points to Wigan. St Helens 6, Wigan 44.
The second marker comes to the blind side, gives an open invitation to Mr. Robinson. That is poor play. You've got to work hard around that dummy half area, and they didn't. The cover defence was non-existent, and Robinson quite happy with it. Give me the applause I deserve.
And here he is now collecting the kick-off and running it back at this St Helens line again.
Moving off the mark.
To St Helens.
He does it quite often as well, and he's got caught on that occasion. Got him for moving off the mark and not playing the ball straight away.
And that's somebody chatting to referee Russell Smith. St Helens are given another 10 metres. By the way, this Wigan score now of 44 points to 6. It equals the highest ever at Knowsley Road. 44 points they scored way back in 1923.
And another mistake. This time it's Pickavance who fails to hold the ball, but I think you'll find a hand was involved there. Well hidden there by Andrew Farrell. holding both arms so that Pickavans couldn't protect himself. It was always going to be a cruncher when he made contact with the ground.
We're in the last quarter of this match that marks the game's centenary, and the side which has dominated the game for the past decade is dominating this occasion.
They're just running out from their own quarter with ease. There's gaps aplenty there. They are out on their feet, St Helens, mesmerised by some of the tricks that Wigan have thrown up to them today.
I suppose if they had been offered the choice at half-time, the Saints wouldn't have come out again, would they? Ball stealing in the tackle. Waller. Penalty Wigan. Well,
Really?
that is as bad as Cowie's, and Cowie's is in the bin.
Professional foul, yeah. I think perhaps that Russell Smith been a bit sympathetic towards the Saints side. They have been run ragged by a truly remarkable performance from this Wigan outfit. You can do nothing else but applaud the efforts that we've seen today.
Paul Loughlin has returned to the fray for Saints, and Twigamala is coming off for Wigan. Rob Smythe is the man who comes on. Rob Smythe, the full-back, so that means Radlinski will move forward to the centre to cover for Twigamala. And who needs Sean Edwards, for goodness sake? We thought this was the moment for St Helens, and particularly when we heard that Edwards was out, a lot of people immediately rushed to the bookies and put their money on the Saints. Look at that scoreline. Well, Andy Farrell, he knows that he should have added another 2 points to his tally there, but he missed it. But Wigan will get the ball back from this dropout on the St Helens 20-metre line. 1 minute to go for Neil Cowie in the sin bin, by the way. Shallow dropout from Goulding straight into the arms of Radlinski. Quinnell. Well, Scott Quinnell is learning his trade very, very slowly in the big league. But my word, he looks the size and power to make a big impact. Sullivan off for Loughlin. Just confirming the changes made by the two coaches.
But look at the ease that they make that ground. Just a simple switch back. Henry Paul is having the time of his life.
Nigel Wright dropped that. Kieran Cunningham. I beg his pardon, it's Steve Prescott. Twigamala off for Rob Smythe. No one standing in front of Joey Hayes. Cowie returns to the fray, and Joey Hayes, only a teenager, and again there was no one in support, and still with Goulding now there's no one in support again. That's the difference between the two sides. They've finally got there now, Saints. Gibbs through the challenge of Farrell, brushes away Horton. That's a great try. They delayed getting up there, but when Scott Gibbs arrived, he brushed away two tacklers and forced his way to the line.
This is a good run from the winger, Joey Hayes. He certainly tried hard. Quick play of the ball, quick thinking, but still no support. Bobby Goulding takes it on after this. And it really was probably the first time that we've seen Scott Gibbs with some open play. Classy bit of play too. The step there, and you can see for once that Farrell just held off. He didn't move forward. And Simon Horton went far too high. He's a strong man, is Gibbs. No one goes low, and you can see how Farrell hangs off. He waits for him to come. That was a beautiful fend. That was a very good try indeed.
Yeah, Scott Gibbs with the 4 points, and Bobby Goulding attempting to turn the 4 into 6, but not making it. St Helens 10, Wigan 44.
Well,
Bobby Goulding. He knows that it is not his day today. It's amazing, Steve-o. People, they don't write Wigan off, but they tip against them. You're amongst that fraternity, of course. And it seems to annoy this Wigan side. They seem to come out even bigger, better and stronger.
Oh, they don't worry about anything that we say or comment about it. They're a professional outfit. They look towards it in a very professional attitude. They couldn't care less what is said on the terracing. They just go out and do their job. They're not swayed by any critics telling them one way or the other. They go about it in a very professional manner. That's why they are so good, and they've shown it today. You could say it's actually men against boys, but when you look at the Wigan average, I think it's only about 22.5. You can't say that, but it's shown.
Yes, the average age, 22 years and 9 months. If you want to be precise, it's 22.76. Pickavant's out the back door to Dwyer. Here's Gibbs. Gibbs up the middle with support from Prescott. They must score here. And they do. Well, it came a little late, but at least for the St Helens supporters, it has arrived.
See what can be done when you run out and play to your best ability. Swinging the ball out wide, they keep it alive, just like Wigan have done all the time. It was a nice pass inside there by Bernard Dwyer. And the former Union star sends in the fullback Steve Prescott for a very good try. One of the few occasions that they've kept control of the football. Well done by Pickavant to keep that alive, but Dwyer's pass on the inside. It's all about positioning yourself, and Gibbs did that. He kept cool through the full-back. There's nothing that Robinson could do either coming in. Consolation, I'm afraid.
Yes, respectability now the name of the game. Goulding adds the extra 2. And so a scoreline that at half-time looked catastrophic now has a little bit more respectability about it. Goulding will not throw the towel in. And I know there's great disappointment all around Knowsley Road, Steve-o, on the terraces, but nowhere will that disappointment be more acutely felt than out there on the field in the blue and white stripes.
Well, perhaps only the positive thing that you can look at this on the Saints side, and Cowie gets the elbow in. Crowd don't like it. Getting back to that, perhaps the only positive aspect about this is that St Helens know there's the elbow. They've still got a long way to go, both in fitness and mental ability.
That was a lovely ball from Cunningham to Loughlin, and Loughlin is just held short with a super tackle from Rob Smythe. Prescott tried to borrow his way over, and did he get the ball down? I think he did. The referee's given the try. Prescott second in about 3 or 4 minutes. Rob Smythe saved the day with a wonderful tackle on Loughlin, but he just didn't have the strength to hold out young Steve Prescott.
Well, at least they're giving them fans something. Another good run from the dummy half position from Cunningham. He did well there, even though he lost the boot. Loughlin set sails for the corner. He had support. It was determined. He did the right thing. He didn't do the second movement, and the fullback was quick thinking there. Well played there.
Yes, Steve Prescott, 3 tries for St Helens in 5 minutes now. Goulding tries to add the extras. Well, it was all the way on its way, but it just didn't have the legs. 20-44.
Respectability coming back into this game, but far too late. Even a fine effort by the fullback Steve Prescott really can't change the truth about this game, that Wigan have completely outplayed a Saints outfit who will be licking their wounds tonight, and rightly so. There's a lot of work still to be done with this Saints outfit, and they know it.
Let's have another word from Alan Hunt, who is on sideline with Bill.
Alan, at least Saints have salvaged a bit of pride here, haven't they?
Well, yeah, obviously 32 points down at half-time. It's not the best result and not what the lads had hoped for. And I think Eric's probably gone in there and given a bit of a roast and said, let's go out there and play for a bit of pride. And we can get off to a good start in the second half of the game. But we've bounced back and, you know, we've got 20 points on the board and there's still a bit of time left, so hopefully we can make the score look quite reasonable.
You're not thinking in terms of a miraculous comeback, are you?
Well, I think we might just have left it a bit too late for that. But, like I said, you know, we can show a bit of pride and hopefully make the score look a bit more reasonable.
Well, when it comes down to it, in terms of what people were expecting from Saints before this game, it's a deeply disappointing performance, isn't it?
Yeah, very disappointing. Wigan got us on the back foot and never looked back really from there. I think a bit of panic set in and we just got behind and it just rolled on from there. But Wigan are a great team and they do that to teams. So there's some good points, a lot of bad points from the game, but some good points can be taken up, obviously, from this second half.
Yes, I suppose if you look at it in terms of two halves, St Helens are winning this second half 20 points to 12.
Well, the referee's deemed that the substitute there that just whipped it out. Andy Haig is the culprit. The crowd don't like it. Neither does the coach. The only thing that Eric Hughes will be looking for to ease the pain somewhat is for that final hooter in just under 9 minutes' time. Plenty of action left, though. I'm sure there's a couple of tries still in this game.
Martin Dermott on in this second half to Andy Farrell. Horton wanted the ball, called for it, got it.
Well, Horton tried to give the impression that he was going to be the dummy runner. They tried that a lot at Wigan. Didn't come off, though.
Here's Nigel Wright now.
Geez, a swinging arm from Bobby Goulding. Let's hope that he's not going to lose his cool in the final minutes.
Martin Afire follows his way towards the line. Knock on.
Well, he did his best, didn't he? And you could see that he lost it. He was going to be short anyway. It's worth a gamble when you hold a 44-20 lead.
Yes, 32-0 half-time, 44-20 now with 7 minutes to go. A desperate disappointment for St Helens and their supporters. I wonder, Steve, what this will do to the remainder of the centenary season, because they've got to go to Leeds next Sunday, a match you can see, by the way, on Sky Sports. They've got to go to Leeds, and that's a big test after this hammering.
They've got to stand up and be counted. Fans are very fickle. They probably will give them one more chance, but they really have got to work harder at this. They completely lost their way. You have to play out your sets of 6. Your defence has to be solid. You don't give this side a start, and that's what they've done.
Perolini to Nicol. To Bernard Dwyer, trying to create a bit of space. Loses the ball. Martin Hall picks up.
Well, he tried his hardest, did Bernard Dwyer there, to try to create something.
Oh, Radlinski. And Robinson will score another. Second try for Jason Robinson. Radlinski cut them to pieces with the run, and the support was steaming up on his inside in the shape of Jason Robinson.
A set play, eager to get involved in the action. Radlinski takes it on the run, and the winger has come right in field to support play. That's always an added bonus when you get wingmen who are quite happy to come well away from the touchline. This was a mistake, and there's been plenty from Saints, but to Dwyer's credit, he did try to keep it alive. Trouble was, there was no support. It's great to see wingers do this. Come right off the touchline, help to do the work, and you often get rewarded. He certainly was.
48-20. This conversion from Andy Farrell, providing he kicks it, will notch the half-century for Wigan. Robinson with those 2 tries second half. He's had some problems today, as Andy Farrell. getting the ball set for his conversion and penalties.
That's the only thing that has bothered him.
Yes. 12 shots, 8 successful kicks. This is number 13 for number 13, and it's 9 successes. That's the half-century. 50-20. Champions still in total command.
Once again, a quick play of the ball. You could see the Saints' defence were going backwards. He went across the advantage line with ease. He knew that the support was going to be on the inside. They were talking about it before the actual play of the ball. Eager, keen.
Here's Radlinski again. Dermot to Farrell. Farrell trying to take Chris Joint on the outside, and Joint sticking to the task. Here's Rob Smythe. Henry Paul. Controlled it from start to finish, hasn't he? Oh, they can't lay a hand on him. And they did lay a hand on him, but it was an illegal hand. Referee wants a word, I think.
Bobby Goulding, look at that. Well, that is a sad sight. To capitulate is bad enough, and at times that is what they've done. But to lose your cool, a captain is supposed to be a leader of men and not to do stupid things like that. That certainly won't go down well with the Saints fans. Losing to that scoreline is bad enough, but when you just lose your marbles seconds from the end, high in the first place, then goes for a second crack. Oh, dearie me. Call it frustration if you want, but it has not been a good day for that fella.
Well, one or two people around the ground a little surprised that Andrew Farrell is elected to kick for goal here, but this is an important kick, because if he gets it, he will get 10 for the day, and that will equal the best ever in these matches, Kel Coslet and Frano Botica. And he's up there with the greats, is Andy Farrell. 10 successful kicks, 52 points for Wigan, 20 for St Helens.
More to the point, I think he wanted to give his charges a bit of a rest. They really have run riot, haven't they? Tremendous performance.
Almost a misunderstanding between Farrell and Radlinski there. They both allowed the ball to bounce, and Farrell it was who reacted the quicker. This now is Wigan's highest score, by the way, against St Helens in history. 1925, they won 51 points to 4. They're winning here today 52 points to 20. Not the widest winning margin, obviously, but certainly a record score by Wigan. Cowie is grounded unceremoniously on halfway. O'Connor got forward, kicks downfield. Prescott collects it. And off he goes. That's a good run from the young fullback. Stopped, though, by Gary Connolly. Once a St Helens fullback himself. Now one of the best centres in the world.
He's shown that today. But good play from both sides. It was a good run from Steve Prescott. He's tried very hard under trying conditions.
Loughlin does well and gets it away to Chris Joint. Chris Joint tried to get it away to Cunningham. It bounced off Cunningham's chest. Smythe is ankle tapped by Joint. Half a minute plus stoppages to go. Wigan rolling forward again with Farrell.
Martin Fire lurking in the middle. He wants to get into the action. Keep your eye out for a switch or a crisscross move.
Cowie. Dermot, Robinson, Radlinski. Here goes Radlinski. Hall. Tackled by Gibbs. We're in stoppage time. Radlinski to right, to Paul. Dabs through, does Paul. Joey Hayes picks up. Read it well, did the young winger.
Spotted it well, didn't he? Got back there. Got quite a lot of attention as well. But look at Wigan, they're still eager to do their defence. Nice work from Hayes again.
Here's Goulding over the top of Pickavance to Prescott. It's Wigan's day on this centenary celebration day, 29th of August 1895, 28th of August 1995. It's business as usual for the men from Central Park. They've come to the home of their great rivals and they've won easily. Connolly gets the penalty.
Well, Nicol definitely gave him another little push, but I think you find that Connolly really milked that one to its best effect.
Here's Robinson. He fancies the hat-trick. Bernard Dwyer decided he wasn't going to get it. Dermot.
Martin Offiah still lurking in the middle there. He's been there for about 5 minutes.
That's Horton. Hall to Farrell, and back to Cowie, and on to Hall again, and then into the arms of O'Connor. Connor, such a handful to put down. Dermot again, Henry Paul, Nigel Wright, Martin Hall, and Pickavance picks up the loose ball.
He called for it then, Pickavance, and got it. Good determined run as well.
Joey Hayes. There's the siren. St Helens' agony is brought to an end, and St Helens players hang their heads as Wigan celebrate another famous victory in this, the most famous of local derbies in British Rugby League. Pain etched on Kieran Cunningham's face. Simon Horton knows that Wigan have done the demolition job that they came for, and Bobby Goulding disappears, highly disappointed. Henry Paul had a wonderful day as stand-in scrum half for Sean Edwards, and Wigan, they march on 52 points to 20 in this, their arguably most difficult match of the season.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Starting today, Sky Sports brings you Grand Slam tennis New York style with the 95 US Open live. The Agassi-Sampras duel continues. He can win over audiences, but can Andre win the points against Grand Slam machine Sampras? Plus, Sellers is back, and she's winning. Are Steffi's days as #1 over? Killer serves, mean volleys, and intense tennis. The US Open, live and exclusive, starts today, 4 p.m. Sky Sports.
Scorchio.
Time is money. So how could Orange help you save it? Orange include airtime within your monthly charge, and we bill you by the second. So you stop paying the second you finish the call. Right now, only Orange does all this. And by joining Orange Direct, you'll get a year's insurance, a 3-year warranty, and you could get over £30 discount. You can discover Orange for yourself by calling us direct on 0800 80 1080. You can order your Orange phone direct today by credit card from just £99.99. Delivered to your door within 48 hours. To order your phone today or for further information, call us free on 0800 80 1080. Because Orange makes the future affordable. For hundreds of thousands of years, it has been man's most basic instinct to protect. And no other insurance company protects more of the things that are important to you than Norwich Union. Norwich Union. No one protects more.
We're approaching the island of Elba for another Andrex Ultra European Challenge.
Buongiorno, Anna.
Vediamo se il tuo Andrex Ultra vince la mia sfida. Quick to absorb. Andrex Ultra is better than conventional kitchen roll. It's strong even when wet. And we'll convince you on the spot that nothing absorbs quicker and better than Andrex Ultra. There's no quicker, cleaner upper.
Mr. Bombastic! We want is a bombastic, romantic, fantastic. Mr. Lover, lover. And Mr. Lover, lover. Girls. Mr. Lover, lover. Now Mr. Lover, lover. She call me Mr. Bombastic. Tell me fantastic. But me not me. This is a Mr. Romantic. Tell me fantastic. Touch me on me butt. She says a Mr. Boom. Boom.
The whitest bar. There's a Milky Bar.
B is for body. Strong. Supple. I is for iron. V for vitamins. No cereal is richer. L, low in fat. T is for taste. Delicious wheat, rice, and malt. K is for breakfast. Kellogg's Special K.
Tasty.
Seize the day.
A sad day if you're a St Helens fan, but a wonderful day if you support the champions. They've won here by 52 points to 20, 14,000 inside the ground to see it, 32-0 up at half-time. What a match to crown the game's centenary. Well, no doubting who was the man of the match in our view, Henry Paul, the Wigan scrum half.
Henry, a late pick at scrum half, and I think when people heard the news that Sean was out before the game, it maybe increased the feeling that it gave Saints a chance. You didn't give him any.
Mate, when I got called in, mate, I was really nervous. But, you know, you wish they gave me the chance, and like everyone in the team, if they get a chance, they take it. We did it today. We only had a few opportunities. We took them. And as the game progressed, we just got better and better and better.
Is it a position you're familiar with?
Nah, no way. It's a terrible position. You're getting the ball too much. No, but, you know, things just went right with us today. We seemed more hungrier, more enthusiastic, because we had a few young guys in there. I also like to say hi to my mum, dad, my family back and my friends, New Zealand. But yeah, no, things just went right, so.
Certainly went right for Gary Connolly. You enjoy coming back here, don't you?
Yeah, it's great mate, atmosphere, especially with playing here for 4.5 years. All the fans give me a lot of stick, but I enjoy that. Makes it worthwhile coming here.
Does that wind you up even more?
No, I just get on with the game. It's a game I've come here to play, and the fans give me stick fair enough, but I don't mind it, I can take it.
For Wigan, I think going into this game, there must have been even more motivation, given the fact that certain people, mentioning no names, were tipping Saints to turn you over today.
Yeah, we all knew that. We all knew Saints are a brilliant team, and I really think they are the second-best team. Or maybe they're up there with the top four anyway. And it proved today that how good a Wigan side is.
And you played with a great deal of enjoyment today, by the look of things.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. It was a nice day, so hopefully a lot of things to come for this Wigan team.
Well, poor old Saints, I think you've spoilt their bank holiday.
Oh, they'll bounce back. They're a great side, and good luck to them in the future. I hope they do well, being an ex-Saints player, an ex-Saints supporter, so I hope they do well, but I hope they come second to Wigan.
There's the statistics. Wigan only having to do 96 tackles in the entire game, 140 tackles by St Helens. Look at the first half possession, 70 to 30, and they dominated the second half too. 11 scrums, penalties 11-6 to Wigan, and 9-4, the handling errors, something in St Helens' favour. Well, I wonder what their coach Eric Hughes has to say about it all. He's talking now with Bill live.
Eric, what's the verdict after that defeat?
Well, it's a bit shattering to the camp, really. See the ground full and the great expectations off the spectators, and we've let them down, really. Particularly, obviously, in the first half. We were outplayed in the basic areas of the game. We spilled the ball when we had the chances early on, which were crucial chances to us. We lost a penalty count, which means that their discipline was better than ours. And you can't afford to do that against Wigan. You can't make more handling errors, and you can't lose the penalty count to them, and we've lost both of those. And I thought most of our problems came from the fact that they play their balls were far quicker. Consequently, they were getting our defence on the back foot, and then the tackles started to fall off. Once they've got you on the roll and they've got you in broken play, obviously they cut you apart.
You must be thinking, though, what might have been had you taken those chances earlier on in the game when you got to within a few yards of their line and spilled the ball.
That's sport, yeah, that's for sure. There was one particular occasion when we dropped the ball with the line open and they've come the length of the field and score. That is sport, and consequently you tend to find then that they get a spring in the step and our heads start to drop a little bit.
Do you think maybe that what was said before the game about this being Saints' big opportunity and people tipping it, maybe that worked against you?
No, I don't think that came into it, really. It was a big occasion. Both sides were geared up for it. They've handled the occasion better. As I say, sport, it's cruel at times, and the early encounters were so important, and those encounters went Wigan's way. But they outplayed us. We were second best on the day, and as I say, I think the key area was the play the balls. They were so much quicker than us that they caused our defence far more problems than we caused them. And from that situation, that was the springboard for the attack on us.
Eric, thanks very much for talking to us.
Pleasure.
Well, there they are, Wigan at the top of the table. 100% record, played 3, 6 points. And St Helens, their hopes well and truly dented. Eric Hughes, though, without a doubt, was a very honest coach there. He assessed the situation. It's very easy, of course, to talk to us when you're winning and winning handsomely. It's a bit more difficult to be on the receiving end of an interview when you have been on the receiving end yourself of a total hammering. And Eric Hughes there, Paul Cullen, was totally, completely and utterly devastated.
Quite, and quite similar to the St Helens pack of the first opening 10 to 15 minutes. And to be honest, the St Helens pack just did not turn up today. I think only Prescott, Joey Hayes and Scott Gibbs, all backs, were the only St Helens players to run forward with any kind of vigour and enthusiasm, and they just failed as a team to make any yards and did not put Wigan on the back foot.
I don't think I've ever seen a tackle count below 100 in these matches, and yet Wigan only made 96 tackles the entire game.
The absolute masters of the basic game. They run forward again, drive 1, 2, 3 and 4. They know exactly who's going to take the ball, where they're going to go. Then in the background, the three-quarter, this devastating Wigan three-quarter line are setting themselves up to play on the break. And with the absolute dismal failure of the St Helens markers, players like Gary Connolly and Jason Robinson simply step into the acting half play, and they're picking up 30, 40, 50, 60 yards on occasions, and that just destroys any defensive pattern.
Just let me ruin Paul Cullen's August Bank Holiday Monday. You've played Wigan next Sunday.
Quite. And the message is very, very clear indeed. I mean, we have to be at our absolute maximum to contend with Wigan. And to do that, we have to give no penalties away. We have to play a very good basic game plan and to resurrect for this season our kicking game, which has been non-existent so far. Now, once we've done that, we have to contend with the class and quality, again, of that Wigan backline. So, no, they are an awesome team, world class, and we've got to, as every other side, have an awful job on our hands.
Yes, a big job, and of course, throughout the summer, all the talk, Steve-O, was of the fact that Dennis Betts has gone, Philip Clark has gone, Fran O'Botic has gone, they've already lost Hanley from years ago, etc., etc. It doesn't matter, though, does it?
Well, no, not really. I mean, even the Wigan fans, they thought that Wigan should have splashed out, got the chequebook going, and I think they went half-heartedly for Lomu. But they were quite happy with what they've got in their squad, and it showed it today that they can keep that conveyor belt going. It's a little bit like Chinese torture, isn't it? They just drip away. It just keeps inflicting pain to the opposition. It's like drip, drip, drip.
And that doesn't just come about because of the stars and because of the skill. It's a combination of all. They work as a team, they share the load, the forwards run for each other, and the most important factor is the people that run as dummy runners. It helps the people in control of the football. They support each other. It was non-existent from St Helens. A very, very disappointing day for the Saints.
Yes, a totally disappointing day for the Saints. Where on earth for them now? I mean, hopes so high on the terraces, on the field, and let's be fair, in the commentary box as well, that perhaps this was the day.
Well, it's the old song, isn't it? You know, pick yourself up, dust yourself down, and start all over again. But basically, you could see on the face of Eric Hughes that it's not going to be an easy job. If I have any advice for Eric Hughes, is to get in the car now, not even talk to his players or any of the fans, just eliminate today and get out of the place. Get away from the St Helens ground, give himself time to settle down and look at it constructively and start to rebuild. He's had a very rude awakening. He's had a big shock today. He thought that they were prepared to come in as a fully professional side, and he now knows that they are a long way off it.
Very quickly, are you going to stand by your prediction that St Helens will win this centenary championship?
No.
The Wigan supporters say he doesn't tip rubbish terribly well. Right, let's tell you what we've got coming up on Sky Sports in the weeks ahead. Tomorrow we have Boots and All at 6:30. It's centenary day, of course, today, and we'll be reflecting it all. Oldham against Halifax on Friday, live and exclusive at 7. We'll be at the Watersheddings. The Winfield Cup next Friday, 9:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 2, and Sunday morning at 7 over here on Sky Sports. The Winfield Cup exclusive to us here on Sky. Leeds Saints. Well, can St Helens resurrect anything? What a place to have to go to try and do that. Headingley, next Sunday, we'll be there at 7. A date for your diary, the 17th, London Broncos against Leeds. We'll be live on Sunday at 7 at Griffin Park, Brentford. And we will also be live for the Winfield Cup Grand Final, 5:30 a.m. Sunday, the 24th of September. Hope you'll join us for that. It's a long and busy weekend for us here on Sky Sports, and we'll be bringing you the Grand Final live from Australia. Paul, best of luck for the match against Wigan next week. We'll see Steve-O tomorrow night, of course, on Boots and All. Hope you'll join us for that at 6:30. Wonderful day for the centenary. Wonderful day if you're a Wigan fan. Hard luck, Saints. Bye-bye.